I'm sure you have heard of the dating app Bumble. Well, guess what? Now they are launching a new matching service for friends. And joining me today is friendship coach Danielle Bayard Jackson, who is going to share information about Galentine and Valentine Day fun for friends. Hello, Danielle.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. Let's get started. Let's talk about what you do exactly as a friendship coach before we dive into the questions. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so I study what the research has to say about connection and cooperation, and I use my findings to provide evidence-based strategies for people who have certain friendship goals. Maybe they're trying to create new friendships or deepen the ones that they have. And it's so fun working so closely with Bumble for Friends because this is a platform that's dedicated to helping people create and find new platonic connections.
Yes, and that is so true because people have a hard time making friends as an adult, right? I think because the years of being in high school and college and then maybe drifting into your work years, you may have connections with adults, but really those friendships become solidified young. So why is it that you feel with the new day and age, adults are just having a hard time making new connections?
Yes, it can be kind of tricky. Some people cite a lack of time as a reason why they can't find new friends, or they're in a new season of life and they're looking for friends who can, affirm this new identity. So, the research tells us that we replace half of our friends every 7 years. And so to some extent, that means that we will always be having to make new friends. So it's something we got to get more comfortable with because we'll always be doing it.
Wow, that's interesting. Every 7 years. Okay, so what is the best way to connect with people that would have similar interests?
The best way to connect with people who might have similar interests is to one, you want to be authentic. So especially when you're on the app, Bumble for Friends, you want to be authentic. What are the things that interest you? How do you spend your time? Sometimes I notice that people are reluctant to lean into that because they're not sure if other people will like or appreciate what they're into. But that's the only way you're going to kind of find like-minded people. So I think being able to use different features on the app, like profile badges, which allow you to communicate. Are you trying to explore the city because you're new? Are you into looking for a gym buddy or mom friends? But we have to get comfortable leading authentically with what it is our friendship goals are and what our interests are so that we can expedite the process of finding our people.
Yes. And I do feel that there is a misconception about how long friendships have to last. Like if you were friends young, then that friendship will carry you throughout your life. And that's not necessarily true because people can grow apart. And I think that right now, because of people sharing their experiences on social media, it has become a bit more normalized to have a little friend breakup. So what is your best advice when it comes to breaking up or just kind of resituating your friendship group?
Yes, not every friendship lasts forever. We know that. And so it can be tricky trying to figure out, do I get with, a new friend group or where do I find my people? But, one mindset that I often find getting in the way is sometimes people start to subscribe to the belief that maybe it's too late for me. Or maybe this is too hard. And that would be really dangerous because as soon as you start to think that new friendships are out of reach for you, we stop trying, we stop with the optimism, we stop following up on new potential connections. So I've worked with people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond who are developing new friendships at every stage, which is something to be excited about.
Yes, I agree. It is exciting just to kind of evolve and kind of bring in new relationships as you grow and move forward in life. And what do you think about the different styles of relationship when it comes to men versus women and kind of making those platonic relationships work?
Yeah, I get very interested in this conversation around, gender at the intersection of friendship. We do kind of operate differently and congregate differently. But one thing I found is that we all want the same things. We might prioritize them differently, but we all are looking for somebody we can have fun with and talk to and be ourselves with. I know for women specifically, the research shows that the number one thing we're looking for in friendships is emotional support. That's really important to us. And I know that for men, sometimes they're just looking for somebody to have shared activities and experiences with. And, on the Bumble for Friends app, All people are welcome and they're encouraged to put what it is they're looking for. And again, we hope that if you're leaning in authentically to what that is, you are going to really be more likely to find people who raise their hand and say, hey, me too. And essentially, that's what we're all looking for.
Yes, and with that, why did Bumble decide to create this whole new app? I know previously on their app they had an option to check if you're looking for dating or friendship, but now they're really diving into making these friendship connections, which is so great. So how exactly does this app work?
Yeah, it's so interesting. So most people know Bumble for, it being a dating platform. And, when people started to say in their profiles, hey, I'm actually just here for friends. I'm looking for platonic connections. Bumble really took note of that. Hey, people just want friends out here as well. And so then they had a little section that was dedicated to friendship. And now that's grown so popular that recently Bumble has launched its own app, Bumble for Friends, that is 100% dedicated to people who are being intentional about pursuing friendships. And so you would make a profile, you would upload some photos, you would work to make sure you get your profile verified so that we make sure everybody's, authentically representing themselves. And you start to list your interests and fill things out along with your friendship goals. So are you looking for somebody to have, a fun night out with? Are you new to town and you're kind of looking to develop new friendships from scratch? But the number of people who are getting more and more comfortable leveraging technology for friendships is really growing. And so I'm excited about that. And I'm glad that people are becoming more open minded about what it looks like to make friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great idea personally. I mean, someone like myself who has had to move around for work to different cities, you go and you want to meet new people. And I think that this is a really streamlined way of just being really intentional on your friendship needs. So that is awesome. Thank you so much, Danielle. It's such a pleasure to speak with you today. And if you'd like more information about Bumble for Friends, we'll have their website listed below. And I'll see you after the break.